my thoughts about comparing De'Aaron King to Vernon Adams Jr. Boy, I haven't thought about Vernon Adams in quite some time. So he was a highly successful FCS quarterback who transferred to Oregon in 2015. So this was coming off the heels of Marcus Mariota's run to the Heisman Trophy, a national championship team that went to the national championship game against Ohio State. They lost by 3 scores, but they got to the national championship game in 2014. They came back. They had a decent season in 15, weren't nearly as good. They won 9 games. But Vernon Adams was a kid that could really spin it. I don't know what happened once he hit an NFL camp, but I'm refreshing myself with his numbers right here. 65% completion percentage, 2,600 yards in 10 games. So he didn't play the entire season, got nicked up a little bit at one point, 26 touchdowns and 6 picks. So he had a great TD to interception ratio. But what I remember about Vernon Adams is that he was a bigger kid than De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King maybe has a little vertical challenge there, but Vernon Adams, a bigger kid, could really sling it. But Vernon Adams wasn't a kid that had a dynamic running game, wouldn't threaten the defense out of the pocket.
No, he's about a 4.8 40 guy according to the NFL draft combine. He ran a 4.8 340.
Yeah, he only ran for 140
solid 200 pounds. So
yeah, he ran for a couple touchdowns. De'Aaron King's a guy that accounted for 50 touchdowns 2 years ago total. They're just different players to a certain extent, but pretty comparable in regards to if you're just rating them on effectiveness. And again, Vernon Adams just had the one season, 10 games at Oregon, and produced a really good season, 26 TD, 6 picks, but was not a De'Aaron King comparison as a player and as a dual threat guy.
Right. I want to say and preference my statements by saying this guy did go first overall. But if by a simple comparison, I would say more of a Kyler Murray type of thing. Even though Kyler Murray was just on a different level as far as athleticism, and he could, to flick the ball and that thing go like 60 yards. And you see, he kind of caught the NFL by a storm. They were not expecting him to be that good that soon. So, I think De'Aaron King, and number one, I know that Dante isn't trying to be disrespectful on either side, neither are we. But at the same time, I think De'Aaron King just has to be the very best De'Aaron King. And just show up every day, lead these young men, because not saying that we do not have a leader right now, but no one has set themselves apart in the QB room as the leader. And that's what you need, is a quarterback who's going to lead us on and off the field, that the coaches and the players believe in. Last year's problem, that the coaches believed in one guy, the players believed in another. And that's why we went back and forth with who the QB was. One of them's no longer here, so wish him the very best. The other one has stayed here and fought through all type of adversity, and hopefully he gets his chance in 2021 versus Alabama.